One more thing I'd like to point out is the revolution will not be televised.
Yes.
Your life is not contingent on what you see on screens. You got to talk to people in your community, and don't forget the physical world, because what you're seeing on screens is a microcosm of the full world that we live in.
Absolutely.
The revolution will not be televised, to quote Gil Scott-Heron.
Absolutely. What do you think the biggest form of theft in the United States is?
Wage theft, full stop.
Talk to me about it.
At this point in human history, wealth inequality is at its greatest that it has ever been. And that's a threat to everybody who's not a billionaire.
Yes.
It's going to destabilize your life with a quickness.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm liking this. Okay. You mentioned you're an anarchist, right? What are some reasons that you are an anarchist?
Well, our current government has an emphasis on executive leadership. And in my opinion, leadership is providing structure and guidance. Now, if you think that intimidating people or belittling people or stepping on people is leadership, that's wrong. That's not the way to lead. You won't find that in the corporate world. You won't find that in your personal life. The best way to lead is through structure and guidance, providing that for my kids. That's how I lead my family. I'm not there to be a Nazi or beat them down. That's not how you raise kids. That's not how you lead people. You lead by example. You lead by caring about people, asking them how they're doing, what they need.
Yes, sir.
Through dialogue.
Yeah. We're seeing even more billionaires involved in politics, right? Do you think that billionaires should be able to donate as much as they want to campaigns?
If you want a corrupt government, absolutely. If you want the will of the people exercised, the will of the people needs to be the priority, not dollars.
Yeah.
Our government is not a business. It's supposed to take care of the people. It's supposed to be reflect the will of the people. All of the people, not the oligarch class.
Right. Yes. Oh, amazing. Okay.
In the words of Dr. King, he started out with a war on poverty, and then he had to shift gears because he realized that the racial inequality was such that he had to then go tackle that. Solidarity, that's how you realize that all of our struggle is a shared struggle. The division won't work. We need to come together as human people. Nobody's going to get through a winter on their own. It is not possible for a single human to get through a winter by themselves.
Right.
We have to come together as people. Our mutual survival is contingent on that. But I do know that the city of New York spends approximately $100,000 incarcerating an individual per year, while they spend about $30,000 educating a people per year. Now, if you want to destabilize society, the fastest way to do that is to gut education. Because you have a dumb working class, they're not going to be able to think for themselves. They're not going to be able to articulate what the problems are. So you incarcerate them, you spend more money on prisons, you're going to have a prison population. You educate your people, you're going to have people who are smart, who are able to take care of you and me when we get old. I know we have 3 branches of government, and there's supposed to be a balance of checks and powers. But I think term limits on Supreme Court would be an excellent idea. Just to make sure that power doesn't crystallize and get locked in and then interfere with the other 2 branches. Now, do we need an executive branch? Could we just have legislation and judicial? Like, without this leadership thing, I mean, the idea is every 4 years we're supposed to eject somebody else and have a fresh voice. But because there's so much money in politics, you find a small group of people just kind of consolidate power, and they won't share it. Those who are put in positions of power rarely let go of it. With revolutions is you got to do it every 5-10 years. You got to do it again. You can't just stagnate and say, hey, we fixed everything. That's the misnomer that we were sold when I was a kid. I was told Dr. King solved slavery, everybody got equal rights, we're all good. And then I woke up one day and the LA riots were going on in my neighborhood. Now we got this thing memory hole by entire generations where I talk to people 20 years ago and they're like, LA riots, what was that? That never happened. That's just a thing on GTA. I was like, no, that was real people fighting against police brutality, wealth inequality, and corruption. And we got to keep at it. It's maintaining our country. It's maintaining our society. It's maintaining ourselves.
It has been great talking to you. Really, truly. I've appreciated it.
Anger is not the way.
Talk about it. That's the same thing with John Lewis, that good rage. focusing it towards it. Yeah.
Start that good trouble.
Absolutely.
Hey, carry on, guys.